welcome to Two Phantom Friends. The not so stereotypical. Oh, wait. Do I get mine? It's all the way over there. I can't reach it. We're just gonna pretend like I have a witch's hat. I'll like put it in post. The not so stereotypical nerd podcast. My name is Salva, and joining me, as always, is the spooky and witchy Chantal.
Hi.
How are you? We haven't done this show
Um,
in a while.
I know it's been a while. We had to put it on pause for a bit. Life
Yeah,
happens.
life happened, and now listen, I don't know where we're getting all of these views all of a sudden from. We now have more
Yeah,
subscribers, which is amazing. I love
it's
it.
really exciting. It's getting
Um,
us closer to our goal.
yes, our goal is, what did we say? 5,000.
5,000.
Um, does that episode come out yet?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Anyways, if you didn't hear about the our little goal previous episode, you'll hear about next episode. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
How goes it? How are you?
It's going. School is going. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your last semester though. This is exciting. Of this
Yeah,
program.
hopefully knock on wood. Hopefully I pass.
You
And
will.
then it'll be my last.
You will.
Well, based off of the teacher's comments on my last assignment I did, who knows? That was not great, but that's okay.
Chantal, we can't all have perfect assignments every single time.
To be fair,
Uh-huh.
it was only worth like 10%, so
It's an easy. That's the kind of assignment where you debate on whether or not you should do it. You know what
I
I
always
mean?
do it. I don't care. I always
I
do it
you
because
get to the
it's
point,
like it's extra marks even if you do
yeah.
bad on it. Because if you get 0, then you get 0, but if you get like let's say 50, then you get 50.
I remember my last couple semesters, I think my last two semesters, I got to the point in the semester where I just had so much to do and um like first of all, the program itself, like they made all of the assignments due at the same time, and we were
Yep.
like, you should, plus we were also trying to find co-op positions, so a lot of us felt really overwhelmed, and so we all complained about it. um, but of course, that didn't change anything for us. It might have changed for the next group, but um, it got to the point where I was like, okay, this one assignment is worth 10%. I'm getting a 90 in this class. I could do without doing it and still be okay.
I have an essay due in like 2 weeks, I want to say. And our prof still hasn't handed us the instructions for it. Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
would ask for that.
Girl, you don't think I haven't?
Which is funny coming
But
from
I
you
mean,
because you like doing everything the last minute anyways.
I do. But to be fair, this prof marks super easy. So even
Easy,
if I do it like the hour before, I'm probably gonna get a good mark.
easy, easy.
So I'm not that
Anyways,
concerned.
happy Halloween,
Anyways,
everyone.
yeah, happy Halloween. It's spooky season.
I keep like internally burping. I'm so sorry. It is spooky season, as you can tell from our
Backgrounds.
backgrounds
And my
and
spooky hat.
Chantal's hat. There you go. My hat somewhere. Stay tuned later on tonight where we release our special Halloween real horror case file episode.
Which is related to this one.
It is related to this. Some will say they go hand in hand. Um, yeah. What do we have going on? What else do we have going on? Well,
I
I
don't
think
know. I'm ready to take a nap.
I know you are. So let's get started.
I'm always ready. I'm always ready for a nap.
All right, let's get to it. Today, we for our spooky Halloween episode watched um Hocus
Hocus Pocus.
Pocus. Yeah. Hocus Pocus.
My childhood movie that would always play on like the Disney channels.
It did.
It was
Yes.
that one and Halloween Town that I
Maybe
saw
we should
all
do
the
that
time.
next year.
Halloween
Yeah.
Town was great. Halloween Town 1 and Halloween Town 2.
I
And then
gotta
Halloween Town 3 was okay-ish.
I gotta make a confession. I don't
No,
I don't
no, no. You're gonna keep that confession to yourself. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know.
I don't remember Halloween Town at all watching it.
Okay, I honestly thought it was gonna be way worse than that. I thought
Oh,
you were about to tell me that you hated it and thought it was the worst movie ever, and
no.
I was about to walk out the door.
I the only memory I have of ever watching a Halloween Town movie is the giant pumpkin in the middle of the town square and like a talking skeleton in a taxi.
Oh my god. That's all you remember?
Yeah.
Okay,
And like
well,
Carrie Fisher's mom.
um, okay, well,
Maybe I'll watch
um,
it tonight.
we'll have to definitely watch it again. 1, 2, and 3, we'll do a marathon.
Okay.
Because those movies are amazing. You know what movie is next on my list actually?
Hmm.
The Conjuring. Because me and my brother every year, like typically the weekend before Halloween, we'll watch the Conjuring movie universe series.
All of
We'll
them?
do a marathon, we'll watch all of them.
You gonna add the newest Nun movie to that too? Now?
Yes, because I haven't seen it yet.
Uh, we I hate horror movies.
I know you do.
A
I'm gonna
lot of
make you
people
watch
find it
one
so
at least.
funny. Like when I tell people that I absolutely hate horror movies, but I love paranormal stuff, they think I'm like the weirdest person ever. Because I
I just
love
I
the true the true stories behind it and the history behind it, and I love watching people do paranormal investigations, but I absolutely hate horror movies.
I find it so funny because you always like the story, but you don't like the jump scares.
I hate, yeah, it's the worst.
There's a lot of
Like
times when I'll tell you about a movie I watched, and you'll be, "That sounds so interesting," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a horror movie. You're not gonna like it." But I'm gonna make you watch one day. We'll do like I'll do it on like I'll videotape it and I'll post the
a
best
little clip,
moments. I'll post the best moments.
a compilation of Salva's jump scares.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, Hocus Pocus.
Yes,
When I was a kid, it was pretty scary. Now, not so much.
I love everything about this movie. It just and like we've talked about this before too. Um Salem during Halloween time, it just hits differently and I really really want to do a trip to Salem one October.
Yeah. We've both talked about this. Like I
Yeah.
send you so many TikToks about being like, I want to go to Salem so bad.
Like we sent each other TikToks about Salem and Halloween in August.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yes. Where
Um,
should we start?
um, I don't know.
Well,
Let's,
um,
I guess, start at the beginning.
that would be the
Oh, that was a
logical.
weird sound that my throat just made. I don't know if you heard it on the mic,
I don't.
but I heard it. I
I
heard it in
might.
my head,
I might
and
later.
it was really odd. Okay. Anyways,
I think this is like the intro to this movie reflects it, like it's so well done to to the whole like Salem witch trial thing.
yeah.
It just fits perfectly. Also, stay tuned for Real Horror Case Files episode. Wink, wink. Um, I liked how you're in colonial Salem and there's, I mean, in that episode we talk about the whole Salem witch trial thing, so like the whole alleged accusations and all that going on, but this is like they're real witches and they really kidnapped a child and
Stole
um
her youth
yes. Yeah.
and turned somebody into a cat.
I have my cat right here. She's
But could
sleeping.
you imagine how much that must suck? You're used to living life as a human, and then all of a sudden you're a cat for like 400 years?
That is a long time.
Yeah. Dude also got run over by a bus and survived. Could you imagine
Oh
that pain?
God, that part in the movie, I thought that was it.
I thought he
Thanks.
died.
I know.
I was sitting there and I'm like, you better not be dead.
No,
But he
don't
wasn't.
die.
He wasn't, so it was all good.
Yeah, it was fine. Um, let's talk about the Sanderson sisters.
I love them but hate them at the same time.
Bette
Like I
Midler
they
is
were so good.
perfect
So
as
like
Winifred.
yeah, so perfect. And like not only are they sassy and rocking their dues and their outfits and everything, but they can sing. Like, what more do you want in a witch? Like, come on.
I mean, I wouldn't ask for anything else. Like that's yeah.
Like,
There was
perfect.
I remember one year, and this is like a couple years before the second one came out. You know how like the celebrities do the whole Halloween like red carpet thing?
Yeah.
So, they did it one year, and Bette Midler went and did it, and she dressed up as Winifred and walked the red carpet.
I mean, if I were to play someone as iconic as Winifred Sanderson in a movie, I would totally
Why
dress up as
not?
them for Halloween.
There
Like,
are
come on.
so many good one-liners in this movie that I repeat on a daily basis that like
Yeah.
I can
Like
only count a handful of
the
movies that are
first one,
like that.
the first one that comes to mind is when he goes to light the black flame candle and he's like, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
Mine is, oh, look, another glorious morning makes me sick.
That one's great. That's me every morning I get up.
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness. But everything about this movie was great. Like the script, the story, the acting. Although there was one thing
Is it about the
that I didn't,
TikTok you sent me?
which, okay, I sent you like 50,000 TikToks a day. You have to be a bit more specific.
It's about what's her name? Allison and the amount
Oh,
of
right in the
times
blinking?
she blinks in that one scene.
No,
Oh,
it's not
okay.
about that. It was about, okay, so you know how, oh God, I'm blanking on their names. He takes his sister trick or treating.
Yes.
And then there's those bullies at that one house.
Mhm.
Wouldn't the people who own that house realize that there's a group of bullies in front of their house and like call the cops?
It's the 90s.
Yeah, so you'd still call the cops.
Times were different.
No, you'd still call the cops. Even though it was the 90s,
I guess
you'd
so,
still
Chantal.
get rid
I
of
don't
them.
know. I guess so. I have no answer for you.
You wouldn't let kids bully other kids.
I have no answer
Like,
for
do
you,
you
so
think
I'm
they're standing
sorry.
in the window eating popcorn watching this go down because they're so bored?
I mean, wouldn't you though?
No, I'd call the cops. I'd be like, "Yo, there's a bunch of, like, idiots bullying a bunch of people. Can you come, like, take care of it?"
Sure.
Wow. Okay, I see
I
where
just
you
won't give
stand.
them candy, and I'll yell at them to leave the kids alone.
Okay, so you're not gonna give any kids candy.
No, I'm not going to give the bullies candy.
Yeah, but the bullies are standing at the end of the driveway taking other people's candy.
Yeah, but if I saw that, I'd start yelling at them.
Yeah, but that's not gonna do anything, they're teenagers.
Well, you know what? I feel like
That
then I come out with the broom. and start
Okay. So
swinging it around.
your plan is just to act as crazy as possible to scare them off.
Yes. Yes. It's like that thing where if you ever sense that if you ever feel like you're being followed, or like someone just approaches you and like tries to like do a pass on you, just start eating the grass.
What? I've never heard of that. I've
Yeah.
heard the screech like a pterodactyl.
Oh, I've heard the moo like a cow and start eating the grass.
Oh,
Cause
I've always heard
if they see
I've heard screech like a pterodactyl and pretend like you're going to the bathroom.
that's another good one though. That is another good one.
Mhm.
Um,
Um,
Sorry, go ahead.
anyways, that scene kinda bothered me because I was like, "Bro," and then the little sister just completely volunteered him to take on the whole, like, group of bullies.
I
Like,
mean,
one
what are
man
younger
against,
sisters for?
like, 1 man against, like, 6, you know? Like, such a younger, like, sibling thing to do, honestly.
Mhm. Can I just say the fact that like this movie came out in the 90s, right? And
Mhm.
it's like a made for TV Disney Channel original kids movie, and the entire premise of the movie is like the reason why the Sanderson sisters came back was because a virgin lit the candle. Now, you're telling me, like, that just shows you how different, like, if you watch Disney original channel movies today, like, that shit wouldn't fly at all.
I don't know when the last time was that I've seen, a Disney Channel original movie. Like, I always watch the older ones. I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever seen, like, the
I
newer
think the
ones.
last ones I've seen were the Descendants
I
movies.
wa Yeah, but I watched those on Disney Plus, not on Disney, like, the actual channel.
Yeah. God, what was the last one? Might
For
have
me, I
been,
think it might have been High School Musical or Camp Rock.
yeah, I was gonna say Camp Rock. Because I don't remember anything that came out after that. Because after
Yeah.
that, we would have been in high school and we would have kind of been like over it.
High school was a wild time, but we still watched Hocus Pocus. I remember watching Hocus Pocus in high school.
Yeah, but Hocus Pocus is a classic. Like, you're not gonna,
Yeah, obviously. Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town.
yeah, you're not gonna
Yeah,
miss those.
for sure. Um,
The way they
it's just
do
this
Halloween
whole
here. What?
I was just gonna say the whole movie was just perfect. Just everything about it. Like the fact that the policeman didn't believe them, none of the adults believed them. So completely opposite to what happened in Salem,
Just a
like
bunch of
originally.
Hocus Pocus. Yes, yes.
Because the adults immediately in the like in history, the adults immediately believed the
The
children.
children.
But in here, it was kind of the opposite,
Yeah.
where, they were like, haha, you're so funny. And then they
Nice joke, kid.
and oh, that always annoyed me as a kid. I was like, "You need to listen." And then now as an adult watching it, I'm like, "Fair enough." Like if I was an adult and like a child came up to me and was like, "There are witches and they're possessing people." I'd be like, "Ah, you're so funny." You know?
The way that Salem does Halloween is what I wish Halloween was
We
like for
do
me.
Halloween,
I
yeah.
remember vaguely like when I was a child here, I was still living in the house here. I wasn't with my grandparents because my grandparents' neighborhood, they didn't do Halloween. But here, because there was a bunch of, like almost every other house had young kids. So everyone did Halloween and everyone like decorated their house. And I remember when I was really young, my parents were like pushing me to go up to a door, and someone had like dropped this like skeleton thing right in front of me. And I screamed and I freaked out, and the lady in the house came out and she was wearing a Snow White costume, and she's like, "Okay, here, sweetheart, let me like take your hand and we'll just go and give you some candy." I wish Halloween is like was like that here, cuz I would love to go full out, but nobody else in my neighborhood goes full out anymore.
So just do it.
So I'll just be the only one.
Yeah. Who cares? Who cares?
That's true. That's true. I
What's
do.
gonna happen? You're gonna bring joy to people. Wow.
My goal in life is to live in a neighborhood where everyone does Halloween full out.
I find Halloween's kind of dying, like with decoration wise. Like, unless you
Hmm.
live, like, I don't really know any neighborhood that's fully decked out, you know?
Not
Just kind of
around
sad.
here that I know of,
Well, not
anyways.
even like not even in our city. Like anywhere you drive, there's maybe like one house every so
There's
often.
the one house on the street where we live off of,
Yeah,
closer
but
to my
they're
end.
those inflatables.
Yes, yes. And I think there's the house across the street that puts a giant spider on their car windshield.
There you go. You should start a tradition. Um anyways,
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
um back to the movie. Um
This is related to the movie. I'm just
I
saying I want Halloween
no,
to
I
be
know.
like
I'm just
that.
saying. I'm just saying I find it so funny that when they walked into oh god, what was her name? I can't remember any of their names and I just watched the movie. This is how long of a day it's been for me. Probably for you too, but the girl that he has a crush on, he walks into her house and like this is
Hmm.
a massive house and they're doing like they're all dressed up in like 1700 French like um clothing and I was like that's the type of party I want to be at. And then she instantly goes, "This is so boring. Let's go to the Sanderson sisters' house." And I was like, "Boring. I would love to stay."
That's
But
my kind of
also
party.
exactly, but also she is kind of right. The Sanderson sister house was really interesting. Would be really interesting to go
Yeah.
to.
We should throw a Halloween party. I don't think we have enough friends to throw a Halloween party.
Okay, so let's see who be on our guest list. Me, you.
I think my sisters will come.
Maybe probably the crew from high school. They like Halloween.
Yeah,
That's it. There's only like 5 of
that,
us.
yeah. Listen, we may or may not get comments in the comment section about how sad our friendship group is.
But you know what? It's fair enough because a lot of 90% of the TikToks I see are like, "You guys have friends?" Those are like 90% of the TikToks I see. Um,
Yeah,
so I don't think we're alone. You know, people just fall off as you get older.
I think so. We've grown
Anyways,
closer. Sorry, go ahead.
back to the film. Um, the party, okay, like, okay, back to having a lot of friends to throw a party. All these places are throwing parties. Like, there's the party at the town hall, there's the party at the
Mm-hmm.
house. How do you have that many people to throw like separate parties
How big is
and have them
Salem
be
for you to be able to do that?
I don't know, like, do people come in? Like, do they, like,
Maybe.
invite people who are from out of town?
I feel like maybe like they do the town hall one for like people who go on vacation during Halloween at Salem, which would make sense.
Right? That seems like a really good party, though.
I would, you're drinking and dancing all night and you get to
Right?
dress
And
up.
then you get enchanted by a witch who nails the song she sings, all night.
I could listen to that song on repeat
I listen to that
all
song all
day,
the
every
time.
day.
All the time. All the time. My favorite part was after they defeated the Sanderson sisters and all the people are leaving the party, and the parents make some sort of comment like, "Wow, these people party harder than they do in LA."
It's
Oh
Halloween in
god.
Salem. What do you expect?
Also, I don't think they get put under, spells in LA. Who knows? Maybe they do. I've only been when I was really little. I don't know what happens in LA.
I don't either. I don't. I've never been.
We'll go one day. I'll take you.
Okay.
Our list is getting long.
Every
LA,
LA,
Salem,
Salem, New
bunch of
York.
places in Europe.
Yeah,
Every day it gets longer.
it does. We're gonna talk on Thursday, and it'll just keep getting longer and longer.
Getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, any thoughts? First of all, the way she calls book.
Book. That was my attempt. It was really bad.
Book. Oh, book.
Oh goodness. She doesn't name her books like names. She just named it book. Do
You
you
know
name your
what
book
though?
names? Or do you
Do
just go by the title?
do I name it? I gotta be honest with you. This, I don't know if like it's just me, but sometimes I'll be reading a book and I don't remember what the title of the book is while I'm reading the book,
No, I do that sometimes too. Like I'd be
right?
like, "Oh yeah, it's the book with the girl and the guy in it." I
I'll
don't
just
know the
like pick
name.
up, especially if it's on my Kindle, I'll just start reading it and then I forget the title of the book while I'm reading it. So then I always have to go back and like find out what the title is, but
You know what book reminds me of? You know a Barbie movie where Ken's job is just beach? Book's job is just book.
I love that. I love that. Also, Gary Marshall was in this movie, and he is incredible as always. He plays the devil, the guy in the hell in the devil costume.
Oh, right. I was like, when did the devil appear? I was like playing in my head. I was like, when did the devil appear? Like, did I miss something? Like, did
Yes, Gary Marshall
I fall
responsible
asleep at
for
some point?
one of the greatest movies ever, Princess Diaries.
We'll have to do that movie at
Oh
some point
God,
because
I love that movie so
it is
much.
it's such a comfort movie.
It is.
It's so good and it's so like heartwarming. Oh goodness. Um yeah.
Yeah. Any other
But this
thoughts? Uh-huh.
um this film was just phenomenal. Even the comedy with Winifred's like ex-boyfriend. God, I'm blanking on all the
Oh,
names right now, guys. I'm so sorry.
hold on, I should bring it up. I almost forgot the title of this movie. 1993. Oh my
God, we
God,
weren't even
sorry.
born yet.
The first thing that came up was Casper. Should watch that movie later.
Oh my God, Casper.
Billy.
Billy, yes, thank you. Oh my God. I can breathe finally. Like that was really like scratching in my head. I was like, it's bothering me. Yes, Billy. Just the perfect comedy when he like stood up to Winifred
hmm
and then they all blew up and he just goes back to sleep. Like, honestly, what a mood, Billy.
Yes. I love that they brought him back for the sequel.
hmm Everything about, well, I love the sequel for its own reasons. My parents didn't.
I
My
thought it
parents are
was
weird though.
okay.
Like it had its own like I feel like in like 20 years it's going to become like the first one did.
Yeah, because the
It always
first
takes
one didn't do as well as what
it
they
always takes
thought.
time I find for these movies because like you think all a lot of the kids nowadays they don't see the first one. A lot of kids are going to be seeing the second one. And once, a couple of years from now, probably like 20 years from now, they're going to be remembering the second one with fond memories of their childhood. Like we remember the first one
Mhm. Mhm.
fond memories of our childhood. So, yeah, I'm excited for 20 years from now when Hocus Pocus 2 becomes a cult
Maybe
classic.
our own children will tell us like, "Mom, you have to go see Hocus Pocus 2."
We gotta do the marathon.
Yes.
Like, I remember my first introduction to Hocus Pocus was in elementary school. I mean, I'm sure I saw it sooner, but I don't remember seeing it sooner. Um,
Yeah,
For
same.
Halloween,
I don't remember a specific moment in my childhood where I watched it for the
I
first time. I just always remembered it
I
there.
remember I remember this so vividly because I didn't even really watch it. Like our school would have different class periods where you would go to the on Halloween day. The school would have, or at least the day school was closest to Halloween if Halloween fell on a weekend.
Mhm.
So they would celebrate Halloween the like Friday. Unless Halloween fell on
Yeah.
a weekday, then they would celebrate on the weekday. But on whatever day it was, they would have Halloween movies playing in the gymnasium, and
Mhm.
certain classes would go down at certain class periods during the day. So of course, because we were the oldest, we got the first morning period. So we watched the beginning of Hocus Pocus, which was like the first 20-ish minutes. Um, and then we didn't get to see the rest of it
I hate
because we
that.
had to move on because of all the other classes got to see different parts of it. And then once they cycled through like all the grades and classes, they got to the last period and they still had some movie to watch. And they were like, okay, like you guys can come down. So then they let the older kids go down, and they throughout the day they had watched Hocus Pocus and one other movie, and they had ended up doing Hocus Pocus a second time, and we saw the last like 15 minutes of the movie. We
So
like
you watched
sat
the
down.
first 20 minutes and then the last
Yeah,
15.
literally we sat down, watched the Sanderson sisters blow up and everybody come out of the parties, and then like the credits played.
That
And
is
that was my
so
first
funny.
introduction to Hocus Pocus. And the teachers had the audacity to be like, "Did you guys enjoy the movie?" And we were like we were like, "Yeah, the, like, 2 quarters that half of it that we saw, like, sure." We
The
missed a
beginning
lot in the
was
middle, like,
great.
I
The
have
ending was also
ending was
really
great.
great.
We're like, beginning was great, ending was great, A plus, the middle bit, don't know.
That is so
I couldn't tell
funny.
you.
My school did
So
dance.
oh, we did a dance too, but it was, like, between it wasn't on Halloween.
No, ours
It
was
was, like,
on
the Halloween
Halloween.
week. It was, like, the Halloween week, but it wasn't
Mhm.
on Halloween.
Ours was on Halloween and they would do like they would bring down grade by grade. But then because the way our school did it is the like grade 7 and 8 class would always take care of like the kindergartens and the grade
That's
ones.
yeah, that's
So
that's
then
how our class did it.
we would end up being at their dance too. We would dance with the little kids and then we'd have our own dance after.
That's how we did it, except not the entire grade would do it. Like certain volunteers from grade 7s and 8s would take
Mhm.
care of the younger kids or they'd swap out.
They paired us
But
up with the little kid, which was fun.
yeah, they just like ours gave out t-shirts as well, I think, for people who dance the best.
Oh.
Yeah.
The best was when the teachers dressed up. Cause it's like our principal used to on the announcements give us clues the week leading up to Halloween as to what he was gonna dress up as, and if someone got it right, then they would get like a little prize. It's just
Oh, your
candy,
school was
but
fun.
yeah, we went like really fun for Halloween, and
Our
then the younger kids would do a parade to every class to show off
Oh,
their
I wish.
costumes. Yeah, my
Our
school went like
school
really hard.
not like the most our school had for announcement wise about Halloween was what not to wear. They were like costumes that are restricted.
Really?
Yeah, but it was more so, I mean, it made sense because it was more so
Yeah.
costumes that promoted, like, violence.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
like, you weren't allowed to bring any kind of fake weapons,
Yeah.
which makes sense, it's a school. You don't like, a lot of the fake weapons are still made out of, like, a plastic that's hard enough that could hurt, I get it.
Yes. Yeah.
But also, like, they didn't really go out of their way to make it fun, like, the most we had was, like, the movies or the dance.
Mhm.
But every once in a while, the teachers would have, like, an activity that they would have us do, but it was more so the class or the individual teachers than it was
Mhm.
the school itself.
Yeah. No, ours was like a whole day thing. because like the teachers would do their own little activities in the class the whole day. A lot of the times we would just watch a movie too, so we got that, and then we had the dance, and then also like the older we got, the older kids would do like a scary haunted house walkthrough thing. So
Oh, I wish.
if the younger kids wanted to go through it, they could, but it wouldn't be like too scary. It would just be like a boo type thing, you know?
Man, I wish. No,
Yeah.
like, our school was not the best for Halloween, but it was still fun. It was still good. Like, it wasn't boring or anything like that, just we didn't go all out.
Mhm. Did you guys
I mean
decorate at all?
no,
Really? The
not really, like, our
entire month of
foyer
the
like, our
entire
foyer
month of
maybe?
October.
Trying to remember, our foyer maybe, and sometimes the teachers would decorate inside their own classrooms, but it
Mhm.
just really depended.
Yeah. The entire month of October. Oh, and we would have a pumpkin carving contest too.
We did in high school.
We did that. We did it in elementary school.
Remember in high school, we had that pumpkin carving contest and the music class won?
Oh, I remember it was by class. Yeah.
Yeah, it was by your homeroom class.
Mhm.
That was amazing. That was such a good high,
That's fun.
the music
The
class
so
winning.
the first high school I went to, one year, I think this was in like the 10th grade. Most of the teachers all dressed up as zombies, and before the first bell rang, you could hear Thriller being played in the the speaker thingies, the announcements,
Mhm.
and
The speaker
everyone,
thingies, yes.
yeah, yeah, everyone was gathered around the atrium, and in the middle was all of the teachers doing the Thriller dance.
Not gonna lie, I probably would have turned around and walked away.
It was very awesome.
I would have, because here's the thing, you know me, I hate when there's, like, people do things in public. I would have had, like, secondhand embarrassment, even though it wasn't really embarrassing, and I would have had to walk away.
All right, well, you do you.
Whenever I see anything happening in public, I'm like, "I've gotta look away. I can't." Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But yeah, that was my first intro to Hocus Pocus, was the first 20 minutes and then the last 15. Um, so that was great.
all right. Any other thoughts?
Um, no, other than this movie is just a like, it's just an amazing movie, like, the costuming was great,
Mhm.
the dialogue was great, I mean, the acting was great for the 90s, like, nowadays, like, it's very much a kids movie, and you
Yeah.
can see that in the way it's produced, and the acting is still, like, really good,
Mhm.
and just everything about it is great, like, you have the perfect balance of, like, comedy and suspense,
Yeah.
and it's so good.
Enough suspense for a kids movie. So like when you watch it as
Yeah.
a kid, you're like, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?" type thing.
Even now, even though I've seen the movie, like, a billion times, I'm like, "Oh my god, are the Sanderson sisters gonna, like, win?
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, like, are they gonna drink the youth of the entire Salem city? Like, what's gonna happen?"
Who knows?
I'm still like, "Oh my god," every time,
Yeah.
every time, and it's so good, and every time I watch it, I always notice something, like, different
Mhm.
about it, and, like, it always surprises me how almost adult some of these movies were. Like, in
Yes.
the jokes that they make, like, even other, like, Disney movies I've seen from, like, the '90s, I'm like, "Is that actually appropriate?" I mean, clearly it was because I don't, like, remember them and it didn't, like, affect me in any way.
Yeah.
So, obviously, it didn't have, as big of an impact, but sometimes
Mhm.
I'll, like now that I'm, like, older, I'll watch it and I'll be like, "Oh, that's what you meant."
That's what that meant.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, like, when she's sitting on the bus, and she's sitting on the bus driver.
Yes.
I never noticed that before, like, I always thought she was just sitting on the bus seat, not
Mm-mm.
him, and
Nope.
I'm, like, sitting there, and I'm like
Okay.
"Oh, interesting,
She definitely
okay."
was a scandalous one.
And then
Sarah.
she drove over Binks, and then I thought he died, but he didn't. He came back.
Yes.
And then in the end, Binks and Emily got, like, to walk off into the distance, happy siblings together,
Mhm.
finally reuniting. And
That
she was like,
is.
"What took you so long?" And he was like, "I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I was stuck as a cat." And I'm like, "Oh, oh my goodness. He just wanted to protect his sister. He was being a good big brother."
Mhm.
So adorable. I love it. Anyways, this movie is perfect. Ignore its flaws. It is
It's a
perfect in every
10 out
way.
of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10.
I rated 10 out of
Actually,
10.
I
Uh-huh.
rated 100 out of 10. You can
Yeah.
ignore its flaws and
11
issues.
out of 10.
100 out of 10, girl, come on. Add those zeros. But yeah, like, I love this movie.
Mhm.
It's such a classic for Halloween.
It's a must watch.
Yeah, and it's like, cause like and it's not a movie that takes a lot of, concentration.
No.
Like, you know how it's gonna end, you know what's gonna happen, it follows, like, the same kind of plot as a lot of the Disney movies.
Mhm.
Kind of like the Hallmark movies where it's, like, the same plot, just different, characters and
Yeah.
different setting type of thing. So it's very easy to, like, do other things while you're watching these types of movies. Like, I
Mhm.
can carve my jack-o'-lanterns while watching them,
Yeah.
and even if I'm not paying attention, I'll know what's going on, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, um that is that for this episode, I think, unless you have any other notes,
Mm, I don't
things
have
to
any
say.
other notes to say other than go watch the movie, it's great.
Yes, go watch the movie. Happy Halloween. I hope
Happy Halloween.
everyone is safe and stay safe. Um, and I think that's it.
Yeah,
Follow us on social media. Look out for in a couple hours the Real Horror Case Files episode, Halloween special episode to come out. Um, that is all about the Salem witch trials. And yeah, like, share, subscribe.
yeah.
Until next time, toodles.
Toodles. Whew, it's hot.